I'm Idiotech, and these are my thoughts on the Battlefield 1 beta. I was initially quite underwhelmed by the experience. It's virtually identical to every other Battlefield game that has released since Bad Company 2. And the reason I loved Bad Company 2 so much was that, first up, we got amazing looking graphics engine, we got some great sound design, and we got a new game mode called Rush. And it was great, and it was cool, and it was fun, and it was something we hadn't had before. Battlefield 1 is the same game I've played now for several years over and over again. And I'm just tired of it, man. It's the same game mechanics, time and time again, Conquest mode and Rush mode. And this game does nothing new, nothing different, nothing interesting. And that is a huge shame, because World War I has never really been explored in video games before, other than in a game called Verdun. And in Verdun, they had a really great system that was authentic to World War I, that involved trench warfare and made sense. And yet in Battlefield 1, it's just Conquest mode and Rush mode, again, just with a new coat of paint and some different weapon types. So I'm pretty underwhelmed by the effort they've put in, to be quite frank. Now, I do understand that the developers of these games have to push them out on a yearly basis, and that various different teams are working on different projects at once, and they have ridiculous deadlines, and they're working for a major publisher, and it's a console game, and they want to market to as many people as possible. And the safe route is the best option in some cases, but seriously, could we not have a single game mode that's a little bit more authentic, a little bit more like Battlefield should be in a World War I setting? It would be so cool if they'd done something interesting with this game, and they just haven't, and it's really disappointing for me, because I was actually looking forward to Battlefield 1, and I'm not now, because it's just Battlefield 4 with a different coat of paint. And I've got Battlefield 4 already, and in fact it runs better, and it doesn't crash as much, and it hasn't got as many bugs, and it's been developed over the years. It's a better experience, it's also cheaper. Why would I buy Battlefield 1? Really, it's just a theme, it's a setting, and it's not even remotely authentic. There's too many machine guns in the game. Trench warfare doesn't exist in this game. And maybe there's some maps down the road that are a little bit more trench warfare-y, and maybe Rush mode will be more suited to those maps, but what we've got right here in the beta just feels like every other Battlefield game. And, you know, it's a huge missed opportunity. So let's talk about class balance, shall we? The sniper class is ridiculously overpowered. Everyone in the game is using it. I've had entire teams in the game running sniper classes. Most of the people just sit on rocks sniping medics and assault classes and don't play the objective. And I've been on entire teams that are just full of snipers, and that's not what Conquest is about. Conquest is about working with your team to capture a point. And that's not what you do, at the moment at least, due to the balancing problems. What you do instead is sit on a rock and snipe people, and that's not what Battlefield is about, and it's not very fun to engage in. So yeah, Conquest is not good, as a result of all the scouts, and Rush mode is a lot better in terms of fitting with the theme, but it's also got problems. The light tank is extremely powerful. Almost too powerful. In fact, it is too powerful. It has a 360-degree firing arc. It can shoot canister shells, which will one-shot infantry at very long ranges, and they can view the tank from third-person mode, meaning that they are effectively invulnerable, and you will see this reflected at the end of games with kill streaks of up to 40 and 0, which is ridiculous and is very unbalanced, and once those tanks get on a capture point, you're pretty much fucked, because there's no real way to deal with them. Taking out tanks is incredibly difficult in this game. There are very few counters, and the assault class in particular seems to be designed around the idea of taking out tanks, but it's very hard to do so. And when no one's playing support on the team or resurrecting dead assault classes because the medic system is broken, the game's kind of a clusterfuck, honestly, and I think, considering how close we are to release, I'm a little concerned that this game may not be in the shape it needs to be when it finally releases, but then again, we have no idea of how old this build actually is. But the main complaints I have are the medic is practically useless because their rifle sucks, it's very inaccurate, all they can really do for their team is drop health packs. The new UI system they've included in the game means that people can skip the whole resurrection process, meaning medics don't really get an opportunity to resurrect other players. A huge portion of their skill set is being underutilized. No one plays support classes, which I don't know why, but I imagine it's due to the fact that people die so much. There's no real need to resupply ammo and things like that. and everyone seems to just be playing assault and snipers, and it's not fun. So yeah, the game has a lot of balance problems, and the maps are cool, and they look great, and the game sounds great, and it's, you know, from a production standpoint, fantastic, and the weather systems are great, but the gameplay is just the same gameplay it's always been, and the game's very unstable, and it crashes all the time. It's full of memory leaks, full of bugs, constant disconnects from servers. It's not promising, I have to say, and based on my experience with the game so far, I am seriously underwhelmed by the lack of effort and the sheer laziness in terms of gameplay innovation that they're putting on display here. And that sucks, you know? And when you consider the cost of this game, when you include premium, it's kind of getting ridiculous at this point. So those are my thoughts on the game. I am still open to the idea of the game being good. If they have some better maps, if they have maybe a mode that we don't know about yet that's more authentic to World War I, if there's a way to avoid having so many fucking machine guns in the game, you know, but these are a lot of ifs and whats and hopes that they may balance and fix and tune things. But as it stands right now, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I may as well just play Battlefield 4. It's a better game. So that's my opinion on Battlefield 1. However, I am interested in your opinion. If you have played the beta, I have a poll. Basically, it just asks you, if you've played the open beta, will you be picking up this game or not? And I'd just like to know, based on their experiences with the beta, whether or not people are going to buy the game. Because I think that's an interesting thing to know, and maybe you want to know that as well. So if you do want to help me with that, go to the description box below, you'll find a poll. Otherwise, if you want to support my channel, you can like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to support me financially, you can do so on Patreon. You'll find a link in the description box below for that. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.